Hey there, gang. Time for another comic book unboxing video. As always, I have been given this box of comic books to grade so that they can be sold on eBay, but I have no idea what is in this box. So it's always a great deal of fun seeing what I've got to work with today. It's like showing up at the newsstand and just never knowing what is going to be there for new comics that day. It's like Christmas Day. It's like every day is like Christmas Day for me. So if you like comic books, stick around. We're going to have some fun. Hey there, Bubby. Welcome to Shanghalla. My name is Duke, and this is an unboxing video. And yeah, as I said, these are books that I will be grading for sale on eBay. The seller name is .com Comics, but I am not the one who set these books aside to be sold as what we call raw singles. So I have no idea what's actually in this box. It's always just a joy, a pleasure to pull things out and just make new discoveries. Sometimes to relive old memories, sometimes to see things that I've never seen myself before, even though I've been collecting comic books as long as I have. And this box, like the last couple of videos, this is going to be all things pulled out of inventory. Now, I've shown you in the past when I've been at the office, I've taken you around and I've kind of shown you the warehouse. And when we get a collection that comes in, we buy a collection at the website, sellmycomicbooks.com, comes into our warehouse in Freeport, Maine, and the books get divvied up into different sales streams. Some will go to CGC and get sold on a third-party site called comiclink.com. Most will end up on eBay, either as raw singles or in multi-book lots, and then some get sold at our store, the retail store .com Comics, located also, of course, in Freeport, Maine. But a lot of the books end up in the multi-book lots in storage, just kind of waiting for somebody to get around to listing them because we just have so many and they keep piling up. Some of them have been there for 2, 3, 4, as much as 5 years. So recently, one of the co-owners went through a bunch of boxes, pulled some stuff out that might have been, multi-book worthy at the time, but now, with changes in the marketplace, might be worth selling as a single. And when I say worth selling as a single, we like to get at least $10 for everything that we sell on eBay. Rather it's one book or 10, that lot we'd like to get $10 for, because the owners, and I don't know what methodology they use to calculate this, but they figured that somewhere around $6 or $7 is our break-even point per lot. When you figure, the cost of acquiring the collections. We've got 5 full-time employees, 1 part-timer, and then the 2 owners. There's lights, there's heat, there's rent, all those things. So it's about $6 or $7 to break even. We like to get at least $10 for everything that we sell. And of course, some things bring thousands and thousands of dollars, the things that we send to CGC that end up on Comic Link. But anyway, as I said, these were all in storage to be parsed into multi-book lots, but now we're going to try and sell them as singles. And so please do like, share, subscribe, comment away, do all the groovy things, and let's see what we've got. And right away, I was going to say right away we see something that just slipped through and probably should have been a single to begin with, but because you can see all the stress marks here on the spine, probably why it went into the queue, as it were, to be sold in a multi-book lot, because it's not very high grade, and so it could be used to goose up a bunch of other G.I. Joe books that might not sell at all without this in the lot. That might actually still be the best use for it, but we're going to try and sell it as a single now, see if it'll still bring at least $10 despite the grade. And that is the first, it's often touted as the first appearance of Snake Eyes, and I don't think it is. I think it's actually the first appearance of Shadow somebody. New Avengers, I've tried to sell this one as a single recently, and it didn't do that well. I think this is the first appearance of the, what is their name there? The Illuminati? Is that right? Now, maybe, that it's been confirmed that the Illuminati will be in the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness movie. Maybe that'll help that out a little bit. Omega Man. This was kind of a big deal when it first came out, in part because it was direct sale only, which was sort of a big deal in 1983. The first few issues of this were pretty good, but it got kind of bland in a hurry, in my opinion. If you loved the full series, then more power to you. You don't let me dissuade you from liking what you like. This series lasted about 38 issues, I think. But it's the first half dozen or so, with Keith Giffen on the art before he got too weird and crazy with his art style. So that's Omega Men #1. I actually don't think that'll get to $10. So we'll see. We'll see how it does. That's not a book I would have pulled myself for sale as a single. Same with this one, Indiana Jones #2. I don't think I would have called that a single myself. Even #1, I'm not sure will get $10, but we'll see. This I don't think will get $10. That's E-Man from First Comics. E-Man initially appeared at Charlton Comics, but he was owned by Joe Staton, and so he got a brief run here at First Comics. Fantastic Four Chronicles. Well, it's got a nice John Byrne cover, but what in the heck even is this? It's by Fantago Enterprises. Okay, I've got to open this up. I have no idea what this is. Is it like an index thing? Is it an actual story? I have no idea. Let's take a look. It's not in great condition. Looks okay probably on camera, but the cover's a little wrinkled right there. Oh, well, it is kind of an index thing. Oh, you've got some Fred Hembeck cartoons in there. But it's all articles about the Fantastic Four and interviews with different creators. So it's kind of a fanzine thing. Well, that's neat. I don't think it's $10 neat. This one, though, this was a dollar book for years, and recently this has kind of taken off. So this one probably will get to $10. Pretty cool. Ms. Mystic from Pacific Comics. That is a Neil Adams creation from his Continuity Studios. And she would have her own title as well at his Continuity Comics line. Coyote from the Marvel Epic line. That's a dollar book. I'm surprised that's in here. I love Steve Englehart, but I'm surprised somebody thinks that's worth $10. Harley Quinn. This is a Loot Crate exclusive. That's interesting. We'll see how that does. What If Wolverine Had Killed the Hulk? That's a popular book. New Mutants. Their first issue is about a $15 book. These issues, I don't know. This is a great book. It only lasted 3 issues, this series. DC did this Masterworks series of great comic book artists. The first 2 featured Frank Frazetta, his Shining Knight stories from Adventure Comics from the 50s. I can't remember what was in the 3rd issue. But even though it is a great thing to have, and I would certainly want it if I didn't already have it myself, I'm surprised someone thinks that's going to be $10. Star-Lord Special Edition, and of course the comic book Star-Lord, much different than the movie version that you are used to. And this looks like some kind of a reprint that was put out of his early adventures. So that's pretty cool. Here's another one, Sabre from Eclipse Comics, that I wouldn't think would be a $10 issue. Maybe I'm just not reading the market right, but it seems like even in multi-book lots that just does kind of mediocre. So we'll see if it gets to $10. Now this one doesn't always do that well either, but I like it and I think it's worth $10. So I would have pulled this one myself. That's just a fun cover. Just a fun cover. And this series didn't last all that long. Of course, Pacific Comics itself didn't last that long, but that's fun. Iron Fist 15, this actually is a big book. This is one that probably should have been a single to start with. And that is an early appearance of the X-Men. I think what makes this a big deal is it's the first, if I could find there you go. It's the first time John Byrne drew the X-Men, if I recall correctly. That's what the big deal is about this book. This was kind of before he took over from Dave Cockrum on the X-Men title. Peter Porker, The Spectacular Spider-Ham. That's a fun book with Hulk Bunny and Captain America. Marvel Feature. So before Marvel 2 and 1, Marvel turned Marvel Feature into a Thing team-up book. It sold so well, they were like, well, let's do that all the time. We just mentioned New Mutants #1. There's the first issue, and that's usually a good, $12, $15 book. This one, I'm surprised. Again, Legion does. I love the Legion, as you know, but it doesn't sell that well as back issues. This is the first appearance of Amethyst, Princess of Gemworld, in one of these inserts. And 298. This is coming out of the Great Darkness saga. Ms. Marvel with the tummy window, number 2. That should do well. It's been in this bag since somebody thought it was 75 cents. I assume that's not $75. Here's a Marvel 2-in-1 thing in Starhawk with her. So that's Lady Adam Warlock. And here's Thanos and the Avengers in the second 2-in-1 annual. Here's something that's a nice pull from inventory. And it's in nice condition too. This one probably always should have been a single. Captain Marvel number 3. And there's number 2. Amazing Spider-Man 220 with Moon Knight. The Macabre Moon Knight. Champions number 1. That's a good book. I'm not going to tell you the story because I tell it every time we see this book. But just look up how the Champions came to be. Why those particular characters. Here's the first appearance of Valkyrie. She first appeared in Avengers, oh God, I'm going to forget the issue number, 77, 88, something like that. It's the cover with the Lady Liberators, but it was actually the Enchantress in disguise. So this is the first appearance of Valkyrie proper. As I say, the first appearance. There's Defenders 28, some more Starhawk for you. Starhawk is the member of the Guardians of the Galaxy that was played in the movies by Sylvester Stallone. So for you younglings, that's who you're looking at. That's old Sly. Here's some nice cockroom action on Uncanny X-Men. 125. Proletarian. Number 124. Arcade. I loved this issue when it first came out. 123. 122. That's a great issue. Wendigo. Very nice. Getting his revenge on Wolverine. Those are all good books. All good books. Ooh, this is a nice stack of books. Maybe not to some of you, but to me, I think these are pretty cool. So this is actually 4-color, $3.94. Donald Duck in Malayaheya. Say that 5 times fast, why don't you? That should do well. That should do well. Not as many duck collectors as there used to be, but these early issues here should still do well. This, I think, is this a 4-color or is this Donald's own book? Donald and the Flying Horse. Not 100% sure. I think these must be his own book. This one's low grade, but it's still an early issue, number 29. This is a 4-color, $3.79. Donald Duck in Southern Hospitality. Picking the cotton. That'll trigger some of you, I'm sure. Here's another one, just in case you weren't triggered enough. 4-color, $3.39. Donald Duck and the Magic Fountain. These are not very high grade, but they're still cool books. $3.08. Donald Duck in Dangerous Disguise. This is Gold Key Giant. And that's a paper stock cover, and it looks like somebody has stuck the backing board in the middle of the book. I don't like when people do that myself. I get they do it because you want to be able to see the back cover. But this just had a regular paper cover rather than a, the regular slick cover that we would see. But that is a classic cover right there. This is a big deal. 4-color, $4.56, Uncle Scrooge Back to the Klondike. So that's all about the origins of Dr. Scrooge. Dr. Scrooge? Uncle Scrooge. Well, the way Benedict Cumberbatch plays him, it is kind of Dr. Scrooge, isn't it? Instead of Doctor Strange. That was a brain burp. Here's 4-color number 203, Donald Duck in the Golden Christmas Tree. Neat. That's the end of that, I guess. Now we're on to Fantastic Four. That's a pretty nice copy. 138. Now we're into the X-Men again. That's King Size Annual number 4. Cool. Where Monsters Dwell number 2. I created Spore, the thing that could not die. Submariner 48 versus Doctor Doom. That's a nice book. Marvel Adventure featuring Daredevil. This was actually a reprint series. Reprinted Daredevil stories. And some reason they chose not to start with Daredevil #1. This is a fairly early Daredevil story, but that's not the first issue of Daredevil being reprinted here in this first issue of Marvel Adventure featuring Daredevil. Here's #2. Here's #4 with the Leapfrog. Mighty Samson. And it's funny. I don't know if maybe they didn't own the copyright or it was too generic to be copyrighted, but I don't think Mighty Samson was ever revived at Valiant, along with Turok and Dr. Solar and Magnus and all of that. Not sure what... Oh, here it is, #8. #8. Here is #10. Nice painted covers. The covers of these Gold Key hero books were always a lot more exciting than the art inside. I always found the art inside to be kind of static. And the square word balloons always kind of weirded me out. Conan #25. Conan #27. 33. 22. 21. There's some Barry Windsor Smith, or just Barry Smith. I asked before if anybody knew. Hawks of the Sea was actually that was an early Will Eisner series. Although I'm sure that's something different. And if it's based on, shoot, what's the Conan? Robert Howard, is that right? That might have even predated Will Eisner. Boom, boom. But anyway, I asked in a recent video and didn't get any comment. I'm not sure when Barry Smith became Barry Windsor Smith, when or why. If you know, leave that comment down below. Who is this, the Polka Dot Man? Or the Boomerang? Floppy Disk Man? I don't know who that's supposed to be. Don't know that issue well enough, I guess. Here's Subby and Iron Man. Tales to Astonish 83. Here's an X-Men, #166. Double-sized issue. Superboy story. Oh, Crypto's first romance. Oh, my. Well, you know, you should always get your super dogs spayed or neutered. Otherwise, you're just going to have super puppies up the... Now, this is weird. Why did they put Crypto in a suit for this? I don't think I've seen this cover before, but I don't know why Crypto is in a suit there. It's kind of weird. Kind of weird. That's a fun issue. The Mighty Might. I have that one. World's Finest, #163. Gladiators in Space. This is this, no, I guess it's not. The Colossal Kids. There were a couple of kids. I think their names were Zim and Zor, or... no, that's a monkey song. I forget their names. But there were these twin terrors that appeared in a few issues of Superman around this time. I thought that might be them, but I don't think it is. A Kryptonite Boomerang. You would think that would be pretty easy for Superman to avoid, but maybe not. Maybe not. Oh, no. Super Baby's being kind of a dick, isn't he? Look at little baby Bruce up here all scared. Super Sons. Gotta love some Super Sons, although I don't think that is a traditional Super Sons story. Here's World's Finest with the Joker. Very nice. Here's some Super Sons. These are the more traditional Super Sons, being Super Brats. That's kind of a weird cover, I always thought. Way he's kind of peering out from the logo. And it looks like the comics is like on his chest, like it's a, like Elastic Lad, like it's actually written there. Kind of weird. Kind of weird. All right, let's keep on trucking. Harley Quinn #1. What do you think? You think that's a $10 book? Maybe. Maybe. But this one is Death of Jason Todd. And it's a newsstand edition. So, should do okay. G.I. Joe 26. I don't know my G.I. Joe well enough to tell you which of these issues are anything. I don't know if they're here just because they're G.I. Joe. This is, I think, the first... I don't think it's the first Is it the first cover appearance of Ronan? I don't think it's his first appearance overall. I'm not sure. First something of Ronan. Number 8. What is this one? Kind of a neat cover, but I don't know why it's so big. This one, of course, is the first full appearance of Apocalypse. This is the first appearance of Steve Rogers' alternate identity, Nomad. When he gave up being Captain America for a while, he was man without a country, Nomad. Dazzler number 1. That languished in dollar bins for a long time because there was a lot of speculation. It was Marvel's first book that was direct sales only. And so it got ordered quite highly and sold quite lowly. So it's always been fairly easy to find issues of Dazzler. It's never been a big book, but in recent times it has started to take off a little bit. Captain America number 300. That's a good book. That is a good book with some fabulous Mike Zeck art. Cable number 1. Now, I would not have pegged this. This is not something I would have pulled for sale as a single. I don't know if that'll get to $10. This is the, I believe, the first appearance of Tim Drake in the Robin costume. He wouldn't officially become Robin for a while yet. Here's Wolverine number 2. We've seen a bunch of those in this box. First appearance of Mr. Sinister in X-Men 221. Oh, neat. This is a collector's edition with a little star thing attached to it. I don't know if that's supposed to be there or what. Includes never before seen material. Well, number 1, I think it would, wouldn't it? Steve Stern, the creator of Zen Intergalactic Ninja, actually lives here in Maine. And I don't think that star is supposed to be there. I think that's something somebody stuck on there. So that would lower the grade. I'll have to look up in the price guides and see if that was actually on the original cover or not, but I don't think so. That looks like an addition. Silver Surfer, 18 with Thanos. I don't know if Thanos is quite the draw that he was. X-Men 267 for a time there. There's some more Thanos action for you. I think Thanos is a little played out at this time. There's Silver Surfer number 1. That's actually volume 3, number 1. Amazing Spider-Man 360. Is that the first appearance of Cardiac? Might be. Here's a die-cut cover of Spider-Man number 400. This is, what is this? The first Cosmic Carnage? Is that right? Not sure. That's Amazing Spidey 410. First appearance of the Monica Rambeau, Captain Marvel. That is Amazing Spider-Man Annual 16. 298 is the first Todd McFarlane art on Spider-Man. So that's cool. This is this the first Venom cover? It's McFarlane anyway. His first appearance of Cloak and Dagger, Spectacular Spider-Man 64. Quite nice, quite nice. All right, we got a few more books here after this, and then we've got one more small stack. This is tied for the second appearance of the Black Suit. This and an issue of Marvel Team Up both came out the same day, about a week behind the issue of Amazing Spider-Man. That was the first to feature the Black Suit. That's popular issue, Spider-Man versus the Hulk, number 119. Nice Bronze Age Spider-Man featuring the Prowler here against the Jackal and his cloned version. That's the first appearance of Carnage. It's not a super high grade, but should still do well. Oh, wow. That's the first lineup change. This is where we kick off Cap's Kooky Quartet when the membership would become just 4. Cap, Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, and Hawkeye. Ba-doom, ba-doom. Number 16. Nice. Number 45. Fairly decent condition copy. That's the first appearance of the Red Guardian. I think the somebody has written, it looks like $3.82, or is it 38 cents? hard to tell. I think the Black Widow movie kind of destroyed the Red Guardian character, unfortunately. His first appearance of Fire Lord. Another Champions #1. Was it this box or the last one we saw a Champions #1? Anyway. Black Knight #1. There you go. An early X-Men #23. Good. Now, if you write the condition of the book on the book, you kind of make it not that condition anymore. But maybe that was an editorial comment. Maybe somebody was just saying that was a good issue. Here's a Neil Adams cover. The X-Men #58, kind of a low grade, but nonetheless pretty cool. And this is our last stack. X-Men #101, kind of low grade, a little tattered here on the edge, but that's still first appearance of Jean Grey as the Phoenix. Great costume design by Dave Cockrum, so that's cool. Captain Marvel 33 with some Thanos action. The classic Days of Future Past story. It's a newsstand copy. X-Men 141. I actually, when this first came out, I don't know, how old was I? This was maybe 1980, or was I like 13 maybe? Kitty Pryde was my my first platonic girlfriend. But I spent quite a bit of time, because there's a couple panels inside with tombstones, and like matching up, the character's tombstone with this poster, making sure they didn't make any mistakes. That everybody who was supposed to be dead was dead. But anyway, that was the kind of geek I was. There's the second part, #142. Not particularly high grade, but still. There's some Dazzler action for you, #130. And the last book in this box is the first appearance of Hellcat. Kinda, sorta. It's not the first appearance of Patsy Walker, because Patsy Walker had been around since the late 40s. She's got more time logged at Marvel than anyone but Captain America. And it's not the first appearance of Hellcat. It was previously, was it Greer Garson? Was that her name? Appeared in a 4-issue series called The Cat, wearing this costume. And then she eventually became like all cat. She became Tigra. And the costume got passed down to Patsy Walker. So this is the first appearance of Patsy Walker as Hellcat. Although not the first appearance of the costume or of Patsy Walker. But still, very, very cool. That is Avengers #144, and that is the last book in that box. So thank you for going over those with me. That was fun. We'll grab Penguin's hat here so he can get all gussied up. And bid you a fond adieu. Until next time, goodbye, good luck, and please be good to each other.